Hey folks, I'm Dave. Welcome to the basement and welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Singles Club where I share a few 45s that have made it into the collection recently and play a little sound clip from each one. But before I get started, I want to give a couple of shout outs. If 45s are your thing, I have a passion for the 45 7-inch single format, and I think there are a few others out in the vinyl community that do as well, and I really enjoy watching their videos, and I want to give them a shout out for what little it's worth coming from this channel. But the first one that I really like watching a lot is Ron over at the Hogs Ear Report. Now he's got some great psychedelic stuff that he shows, and he also gets into a little bit of punk and some new wave and some 80s stuff. But also he devotes every now and then a video to the 45s, some 45s that he's picked up, and it's everything from surf to punk to psych. He's got some really good stuff that he shows, and he's definitely somebody you should check out if you're into the 45 scene. Another one is Chris at the Vinyl Orchard. He's been doing a great series lately where he kind of breaks down his favorite or top whatever number of 45s in various genres, in decades and things like that. So it's basically kind of a list format, and but that, it's really fun to watch that stuff. So Chris at the Vinyl Orchard. Another one is Mark over at Mad for Vinyl. And he picks up lots of different genres as well, and he's been going through a series where he's going through kind of sorting and categorizing some of the 45s that he has, and he's got some really interesting stuff, some high-end stuff, some hard to find obscure stuff. So that's really fun to check out. I really enjoy his videos, so check him out as well. And then recently, one of my favorite channels is Morten over at, well, his channel is his name, Morten Aastad. I think I pronounced that maybe somewhat close, but, and I'll put links to all these guys down in the description. So, if you can't understand my pronunciation, at least you'll have links. So anyway, Morten, he's right now he's in Norway, but he's, I think, based out of Denmark, and he's shows a lot of stuff. We get some great sort of like around town footage that he shoots around Norway and Denmark, and it's just really great fun stuff to watch. And recently he just showed a kind of a haul video where he got some very interesting 45s in from a seller in Germany, I believe. So yeah, definitely check him out as well. So thank you guys for your videos, and for the rest of y'all, I hope you check them out and subscribe. All right, so getting into things today, for the handful of 45s that I have to show you, I'm going to start off with a Detroit outfit. This is Children's Ice Cream. And their 45, it's got two songs, Rainwater 3 Pure Grain Alcohol and Clouded. And this came out in 1994 on their own. It was self-released. Burnt Hair Records is their label. I really could find, Google knows nothing about this band. They are from Dearborn, that much I know. The mailing address for their label or for the band is in Dearborn, Michigan, which is a suburb right on the edge of Detroit. It comes on this clear vinyl. See if you can read that really well. Yeah, kind of, the glare helps out a little bit sometimes. And like I said, I don't know a thing. I can't find a thing out about this band. Now, it did come with this insert, but the guys' names, like on guitar, you have NXBX. Percussion, which I'm assuming is drums, is Paul G, and on bass is LSD capitalized. So what they play, I mean, that's all I know, but what they play is a sort of psychedelic space rock, trippy sort of space rock, and that's really cool, the first track, this Rainwater 3 Pure Grain Alcohol, is it's not really a song per se. It's just more like this electronic soundscape, sci-fi sort of background noise. Which, okay, I'm sure there's some folks that will find that entertaining, but it didn't do anything for me. The B-side, however, in Clouded, That was just this really trippy, spacey instrumental track. Both are instrumentals, but this was space rock. This was really awesome. Totally enjoyable. You can totally get wrapped up in the sound. I would have preferred a whole album along that line, but unfortunately, this is the only release put out by these guys. They may have played in other bands. I don't know, because I don't know what those nicknames mean or translate to in real names, but I'm going to go ahead and drop the needle on the Enclouded, because that was a pretty cool tune. So let me know what you think about that one. This is coming up is Enclouded by Children's Ice Cream. And sticking in Detroit, but going for a little bit of soul this time. Coming out on Hot Wax Records in 1972 is 100 Proof Aged in Soul. And this is Everything Good Is Bad, back with I'd Rather Fight Than Switch. And yeah, so 100 Proof Aged in Soul was a soul group out of Detroit. This A-side, Everything Good Is Bad, came off of their second album called 100 Proof. And it's kind of a slow burner, a little bit of mellow soul, dealing with mutual infidelity. So it's a fun song. But again, that was an album track. I typically, when I pick up 45s by bands that have albums out, if I don't pick up the songs that are on the albums. If it's on an album, I'll try to get the album. Except for the Rivieras, California Sun. That album is just a little bit pricey, so I'll probably have to deal with just the 45. But anyway, typically I pick up a 45 for the non-album tracks, because that's what I dig, is the more obscure stuff. And that's what we get with I'd Rather Fight Than Switch. Upbeat, got a catchy chorus, a little bit of a Sister Sledge vibe going on, at least to my ears, old ears. So we'll play that one. Coming up, this is I'd Rather Fight Than Switch by 100 Proof Aged in Soul. We'll see if I can get through this next needle drop without a YouTube strike. But this is Venus by Bananarama. Came out in 1986 on London Records. And I'm definitely not going to drop a needle on Venus, but the B-side, White Train, that is a non-album track. Venus came out in the True Confessions album. And 1986, like I said, London, and White Train was a non-album track. It's okay, kind of funky, a little bit funky. Doesn't have the energy of Venus, obviously, and I don't know. It's okay. I enjoyed it, but I think this would probably be something that only fans are going to want to be interested in picking up. But give it a listen. Let me know what you think. So coming up is White Train by Bananarama. All right, hopefully you got a chance to hear that needle drop and I didn't have to cut it out due to rules or something. So yeah, hopefully you heard it. Anyway, moving on. So we're back in Detroit now, and this is the only release by a band called Different Strokes. This is Imaginary Street and State of Mind. Came out on Love Records. Let me pull this out here so you can see this a little bit better. Yeah, it came out on Love in 1973. And so Love was a rock and soul label out of Detroit. They actually released a couple of singles by Question Mark and the Mysterians later on in that band's career. This band, however, Different Strokes, again, Google had no words. I don't know anything about them. This was their only release, as I said. I can tell from the labels that these songs were both written and produced by Rick Tim Tam Wiesand and Tom D'Angelo, so more than likely this was some sort of studio project. But as for who the players were, I don't know, could have been just those two guys, I don't know. But anyway, Imaginary Street, the A-side. This is very much a Beach Boys inspired, I don't want to say ballad because it's a little bit more upbeat than that, but you definitely hear the vocal harmonies and the keyboards, organ influence from the Beach Boys. But anyway, the song is basically about rock and roll. It does all sorts of name dropping. There's Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis. There's even some interview clips from Buddy Holly that are thrown in there. That's just a fun song. Fun song. If you're into the whole rock and roll nostalgia, that's a pretty cool song. Now, State of Mind, it's an all instrumental. It's kind of rockin', organ driven. Okay, nothing great to write home about, but my favorite was definitely Imaginary Street. So we're going to listen to that one. So yeah, this is Different Strokes, Imaginary Street. And the last one for today is Dirty Pictures by Radio Stars. And this came out in 1977 on Chiswick Records, and it was not released in North America, so this is a UK press. And there's a label. So Dirty Pictures were a new wave band from England, put out a couple albums in the late 70s. This was their first single. Neither track are on either album, so these are two non-album tracks. Dirty Pictures, the song itself is a pretty fun, good energy track. Got some glam rock vibe going on. It reminds me a little bit of Cheap Trick. The second track, Sail Away, it's got a lot more glam energy than new wave. It's a little bit slower tempo. It's pretty good, but by far my favorite is the title track, Dirty Pictures. So we're going to drop the needle on that one. So this is Dirty Pictures by Radio Stars. right, guys, thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Any of these songs or 45s, if you got them, let me know. Especially if you know something about Different Strokes or Children's Ice Cream. Those two bands, just don't know anything about. So if you've got the knowledge, hope you're willing to share. I'd love to hear from you. So until next time, I will talk to you soon.